Hi, everybody. Hey, how you doing? If you're just joining us and this is your first time watching, it's come to our attention that a lot of people don't know exactly what's going on here at the beginning. We are primarily a podcast at Surreal Talk, but for the YouTube video, you get about 10 or 15 minutes before it actually starts, kind of like a behind-the-scenes thing. So if you're just joining us and you're just interested in the podcast, and which is today on simulation theory, there'll be a link in the description of the video below, and you can go straight to where the podcast starts. Yeah. What do you think, Everett? I nail it?
Pretty much.
All right, there we go. So, yeah, you'll be able to go straight to the podcast. But for all you that, know us and love us, you're going to want to watch these 10 or 15 minutes. Nothing interesting is going to happen. But
You're not ready for this yet.
Excuse me?
Kids are gonna love it.
Yeah, no shit, right? We got to figure out these cameras because I'm both Eric and Everett right now.
There's something weird going on here.
Yeah.
Figure that out. I mean, that's not hard to figure out. The cameras are sitting there.
I mean, what do you think? I'm like a tech genius. I can just like figure out these fucking cameras or whatever. I got.
Are you on?
I am on.
Check.
Checkity check. Yeah, but see, like I really kind of want. Oh, this camera's not even.
You heard that?
Wait a minute. That's okay. So that's your camera. Yeah, I can hear myself. I got to figure this out. All right, hang tight, people.
You're having a time, aren't you? I gotta get the YouTube set up.
I'm trying to figure out what fucking camera is pointing at me here. Get off me, prick. So many goddamn wires. Goddamn wires.
Who's out there? Are you on the chat by chance?
No, not yet. I'm trying to figure out these fucking wires. All right. Is this right? Is this right?
Probably got you doing some actual producing.
Is this are we live? Maybe I should put this camera on top of my soda. No, because I won't be able to drink it.
That's true.
All right. Simulation time. Come on, too much Eric. Scott, I mean, that's debatable. Is there ever really too much Eric? That's not it either. What the fuck? Is this not? Oh, okay. I'm behind on the. That's a good thing I'm not the tech guy for this fucking show. Like everybody's like, yeah, Eric should just go ahead and do the podcast while Everett's out of town. That's fucking physically impossible. That's not going to happen. Scott, you got such a great sense of humor. Everett's got the better camera this week.
You are really?
Yeah. That camera, those are better. Like, I feel like it's,
Silver-faced ones?
yeah.
Well, flip out there. I can change the camera real quick.
No, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's not like I'm pretty enough to have the better camera. I feel like we should probably give the better camera to you, I mean.
What about that camera? Where's that camera at?
That camera is,
Which one is it? How's that one? It's right to your right.
oh, yeah, that's a good one. We'll take that. I'll take that one. Oh, fuck, I got to take, fucking wires again.
Oh God. It's gonna be a good show this week, even though this is horrible.
This is all Everett's fault. Again, though, for the people that are just joining, though, you can jump straight to the podcast. The description will be, unless you're live. If you're live, you don't get that option. There'll be no jumping straight to the podcast. Time is just a concept. So is the show. Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with you on that. Oh, man, you got that thing way down in your face.
I know, I'm working on it. God damn, Ecker kid.
Holy shit. Me moving that camera around looked like we had an earthquake. Watching it on the thing, like, live from what happened 30 seconds ago. Scott Seeger says, those Hicks women should probably be put up for sainthood. Because they have to put up with our shit. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you. Brittany and April probably put up with a bunch of fucking crap. Core 2 nowadays. Oh. Well, Jay,
I was on last night for a while.
I know, but I got a little tired waiting on Jay. Jay had to go take his I had to pick his goddaughter up from a dance, and I just couldn't hang. I was trying to stay. I played a little Magic, and that was it.
I'm almost ready. How are you?
Ah, I fucked that all up. How am I with what? What are you talking about?
I was kind of going for a Han Solo. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
Fine here.
Yeah.
How are you?
Brittany calls me today from Walmart, and she's like, they got a Boba Fett shirt and a regular Star Wars shirt. And I was like, both are equally awesome. You decide. So I ended up with this Star Wars shirt today. I sure did. Thomas Maroon here. Good to hear that, Tom. Tom's excited about simulation theory. I got a couple Facebook messages from him.
Really?
Yeah.
I dig it. As we used to call him, Tom.
Yeah, yes. Mm-hmm.
Many, many moon ago. Upwards of 27 moon ago? I don't know. No, wait a minute. 27 times 12 moon? Man, I feel like I'm loud. Are you loud? Are we coming in loud? Clap test.
I don't feel like you're loud.
Clap test. I'll be back.
I always want to do the Mr. Miyagi thing at the clap test. You know what I mean? Ah, lordy, lordy, lordy. I know what it is, Everett. You're afraid. You're afraid you'll never be as strong as Darth Vader.
We're good.
We good? Clap test checked out?
We're clear, man. Another
Clear on the clap.
week of
Sweet.
clap. Back to the corner.
Ah, low, 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 mid, mid, double, double, mid, mid. This is true, Jay.
South mid green.
No, it's warthog on pink.
Double south pig.
Yes. Man, the simulation. I mean,
Check 1, 2. What about it?
like I wonder
Nothing.
if
Don't even say anything.
wonder if in a simulation my thoughts are like produced, like they're simulated. Like so, like what they already know what I'm going to be thinking. You know what I mean? If it's all simulation and I'm a computer program and my consciousness is a computer program or a line of code inside of a computer program, I would have to say that like what I'm thinking's already been predetermined. What about destiny? Where's that fall in on a simulation?
You could just be the result of algorithms, but we'll get to that. You're getting ahead of yourself. You're excited, and I understand that. Give a couple more minutes, let people show up, and get going.
Gabriel Noriega says that, has anyone mentioned that Eric sounds like Steve-O?
A lot of people.
I don't understand this with the Seth Rogen and me with Steve-O.
Come on, yeah, I got nothing.
It's the Seth and Steve show. We just ought to change it from Surreal Talk to Seth and Steve. Surreal Talk with Seth and
The
Steve.
generic Seth and Steve.
Yeah, no shit. We're like Winston's compared to Marlboros or Vest Soda. We're the Vest Soda, as to Pepsi and Mountain Dew.
Yes, Scott, we're sort of monetized since we started as Surreal Talk, just on YouTube. But if you look at the very beginning of this video, you'll see a quick little thing where I'm setting up the chat that actually shows how much money we've made on YouTube in the last 28 days.
Did that say it? Did you post it up there?
It wasn't. Well, it's got that part of the screen. I've got it captured, but it says like $1.55.
Fuck, we're rich. That monetization thing's really working out for us.
Monetization.
Yeah, that's really working out for us. Fuck, we're gonna retire soon off this podcast.
I'm telling you.
$1.55 in a month.
I'd have to double check. With
I'm quitting my fucking job. That's it. That's all there's to. I'm quitting. There's no point even working anymore.
Yeah. Give it like 3 or 4 more minutes. We'll start.
Oh, Steve-O and Seth Rogen. Probably not a movie I would watch. No, but you watch the podcast every week, don't you? Mm-hmm.
True.
Is it warm in here to you? Open that door.
Dude, it's fucking warm every week.
Fago.
Trunk full of Fago.
Car full of fat chicks. Everett's a juggalo from way back.
Anyway, I got my.
He's got a hatchet tattoo.
Do I?
No, no.
I didn't know about it.
Double kill. I'm still waiting on my check. He's probably still waiting on a shirt. Yeah.
Oh, is he? Shit.
Dude,
in my defense, I've been so fucking busy, man. I'm thinking about nothing.
Give me the shirt.
Right.
Give me the money.
All right.
No, I can pay for it. But you give me the shirt, and I'll get his address, and I'll send it to him. Because, you know, Everett's too fucking busy for us little people. You know, the regular folk. He can't be bothered with regular folk.
Fuck you, man.
April says she doesn't think either of us sound like who they say.
I agree.
She says she's been around too long, though. Yes, he is. I think Everett sounds kind of like Gollum. You don't even have no impression required. Just everyone get.
Fuck you, man.
Fuck you.
Impress that. All right.
Oh, shit. Team Eric for show. Man, I'm excited about this simulation. This is a good one. You know why I like shows like this? Because you don't have to have any facts. Isn't that bad? You can just bullshit your way right through a simulation show. But it's all.
Every show, dude.
Shut up! Don't let our fucking trade secrets out. Come on, man. We got to
finish.
delete that off there now. Only the live people know that.
I'm gonna share this to the group.
April said she did tell Everett she would mail the shirt for him.
I don't recall that.
Well, April's his wife, and she can't be bothered with us little folk either. Oh, man. You know what? I think I try to limit my laughing because one time someone said on there the laughing gets pretty intense.
Really? Somebody said that?
Yeah, but, you know, I think that's not as bad since before the show, you know what I mean?
So you don't think it's because we were getting high?
Well, no, I think it's not as bad because we stopped before the show. So.
Oh, yeah, the secondary?
Right.
Yeah.
You know, like the second trip, like we stopped doing that so it doesn't get as crazy.
Pre-game. We didn't pre-game.
we don't
no
pre-game.
pre-game is what we used to. Especially since the marijuana show.
Right. We stopped pre-gaming since the marijuana show, since all the bad reviews. That was a rough one.
Okay. I think we're not going to have the group that we're normally used to having.
That's all right. Let's do it, man.
I'm going to give it another minute to sit in the group. I just shared it.
Did you share it?
These are our people. They don't mind waiting a couple more minutes, I hope.
What time is it? 3:15. They've already waited 15 minutes, and we were playing 2 minutes late, so.
To be fair, the thing says it's 12 minutes, 52 seconds, so we've been live.
Is that right?
God damn it. April says, don't go easy on us. We don't deserve it. There's Sarah Franco. She probably likes us more than April. April knows we're just a fucking couple of idiots, though.
No shit.
I've been dealing with that fact for many years now. Frank fucking Reynolds. Yo.
Yo, Frankie, what's going on, man? Can I call you Frankie?
No, you call him Toboggan. Mantis Toboggan.
I suspect that's It's Always Sunny.
Yeah, the reference.
Yeah.
It's one of his aliases.
You know what I just noticed by looking at the screen? Do you wear your headphones like this?
A lot of the times I do wear them. Like,
Do you when we're playing Xbox? Do you do that?
No.
It got to be up here.
I got a microphone to do.
Yeah, but you could still move it up if you needed to.
Probably. All right, are you ready?
And I wonder why. Yeah, I'm ready. I've been ready. So it started 14 minutes. So that's when you put in the description after the fact.
No, I'll go back and get the exact second.
Oh, well, whatever.
Put in the right password. I hope I picked the right fucking computer. Okay, man, you ready?
I'm ready, man.
Should be it. I hope we can hear it.
You're listening to Surreal Talk, a look inside the world of cults, conspiracies, and the paranormal.
something's not right, man. Something's not right. Something's bullshit here, and I don't believe it.
Honestly, this crazy shit could be completely possible.
Disclaimer, we reserve the right to be wrong, ladies and gentlemen. God, that's so important. You think you know the whole story? Spank again.
Now your hosts, Eric and Everett.
Welcome back.
That cut off abruptly, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. That was kind of weird. That kind of fucked my whole beginning up right there. This is Surreal Talk, a look inside the world of cults, conspiracies, and the paranormal. It's a lineupmedia.fm production, and we are back again with a pretty good topic today.
Pretty good topic.
What are we talking about, Everett?
I am looking at my microphone, and it is way quiet. So you tell them what we're doing, and I'll go fix my microphone.
Okay, you do that. We are going to be talking about simulation theory or simulation argument, or we're going to discuss the fact that we might live in a computer simulation, which is a very, very crazy thing. And the more you get into it, well, I don't know about Everett, but the more I got into it, the more I realize how dumb I am. Because it's a pretty smart subject, and like at its once you dig deeper into it, like everybody can say like, okay, you know, simulation theory is, you know, you can relate it directly to the Matrix movie, and everybody gets that. You know, oh, we live inside a computer program. But once you start digging down deep into what that actually means, you kind of got to be real sciencey.
Real sciencey?
Yeah. Like I said, you know, the deeper I dug on this, I was like, God damn, I'm dumb.
Well, that's not a surprise over here.
Shut up.
So yeah, the Matrix kind of brought it to popular, right up to the forefront of popular culture.
Yes.
It made everybody guess or start to ask, are we living in a computer program, in a simulation?
Well, I think more than that, it made everybody think that it could be a possibility. It brought the idea into their mind.
Well, that's the question, right? It makes everybody, and the beauty of that question is we'll never know.
No, ever. You won't know.
It's right up there with the great questions of, is there a God, things like that. I guess it'd be easier to prove there was a God than it would be we're in a simulation.
Did Paul McCartney actually die? Or, you know, I mean, that's one of the great unanswered mysteries.
Here's an answer to that. It doesn't matter if he died, because that Paul we've had since then has been our Paul for way longer.
Yeah, and he was really good too.
He's did some good stuff.
Yeah.
So
arguably, maybe even a better Paul. Maybe he killed that Paul.
Whoa, deep. I got to turn on my mic again. It's just looking horrible on the screen here, so I'm gonna go do that. And
so we're looking for a new tech guy here at Surreal Talk. If anybody's interested, Everett just kind of sucks shit. So yeah, I'm good at stalling. I can stall, of course. Why couldn't I stall? I know how to stall. I can stall.
All right, I'm back.
All right, what's up?
I don't care how it looks now. It is the way it is. Man, now I sound really loud too, but it'll look better on the little waveform. So, what are some of the points that we had written out?
Well, hang on. We talked about I want to stop with the simulation for 1 second and talk about last week's show. We had a really good
Seth
show.
Rich?
I thought that was a good show. It was well received. It did pretty good. But
if you're working to slowly move me on to the theory that Hillary is some sort of mass murderer or, you know, leader of a hit squad, mission accomplished. You're getting there.
Right. Well, like somebody, and this is an original thought, someone posted this in the groups, and I don't remember who, but it's like, we want to thank Hillary for giving us the verb suicided. You know what I mean? Because all these motherfuckers just suicided. You know, and now that's a term.
I'll suicide you. It's now a verb, right?
Yeah, it's a term now. So that was a pretty good show. I enjoyed it. We got pretty good, you know, I mean, people were saying it wasn't bad. The one lady said that, you know, we should start making up the healthcare system here in America.
Oh, because of the weird discussion we swerved into?
Yeah, we had like a 20-minute tangent on healthcare.
Why? How did we get into that?
I can't remember.
Any which way. So, first and foremost, you got to think about when you're going to simulation theory, what exactly is reality? So, if we're in a virtual simulated reality, to me, is one's own perception of outside stimuli.
Okay.
So it can't be your brain giving yourself stimuli like a dream, because that's all. Eric just got himself in the eye with his microphone. I've never seen anything like it. Ow. With a round device, he's just put his eye out.
Shit. Go ahead.
Anyway,
that fucking hurt.
I lost my train of thought when I seen you get stabbed in the eye with a headphone.
Reality. Fuck. Go ahead.
So reality.
I have a black eye. I promise you.
I hope you do.
That hit me right in the eyeball.
I hope you do. So reality, like I said, is one's own observations of outside stimuli. Are you in there?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Trying to see. Go ahead.
So I was trying to say that it's outside stimuli. It can't be like a dream, where a dream is your brain giving you that stimuli.
It's true.
It's self-stimuli. So that's not reality. That's how we can differentiate one, in my opinion. Is it real or is it a dream? Like Queen says.
A dream is your mind generating a simulation for you to go in for, I mean, it's a brain generated simulation.
Yeah, fair enough, but I guess.
I mean, am I wrong? No,
well, you can wake
wrong,
up.
Walter.
It's a simulation that you can prove is a simulation, though, because you can wake up.
It's a provable simulation, but it is nonetheless a simulation. The same as a video game is, we play online multiplayer. That's a simulation as well, because we are, it's a virtual universe that we're inputting commands to tell the soldier what to do on the virtual battlefield. So do you think Master Chief knows that he's not, or that he's part of a simulation? Not at all.
Master Chief isn't a character in that game, to be honest with you.
Well, okay, so
because he has any kind of feeling or anything other than in cutscenes
that you know of.
No, because think about it. The only things that really have feeling in that simulation are the AI, the Marines running around, the characters that are not played by you with the controller.
Okay,
they're the simulation. You're actually moving along in this simulation.
Okay, I'm with that.
So,
I agree.
In simulation theory, it's more like we are those Marines. Do we know that we're just somebody's set of algorithms?
That we are? No, we would never know that. We won't know that.
So Nick Bostrom, in 2003, he works at Oxford. He's a professor of philosophy over at Oxford. He proposed there's a video you can find on YouTube. It's a 20-minute video about his arguments on whether or not we're really in a simulation.
Well, let me stop you right there. So just as the Matrix brought this out into the public simulation theory, he's the one that brought it more into the science mainstream, so that people actually started discussing this as a.
Well, eventually it was going to happen after somebody saw the movie who was smart. They were going to well, let's science this shit.
Yeah, and that's what he did. He tried to made tangibles out of it and kind of made a structure like to what you would require to be a simulation.
Right. He gives three arguments to simulation and states that one of these at least must be true. The first one is the fraction of human level civilizations that reached a post-human stage that is one capable of high-fidelity ancestor simulations. So we've reached technological level of maturity to where we can run a high-quality enough simulation is very close to zero. So he's saying of all civilizations that come up, they destroy themselves before they gain the ability to create simulations.
Yeah, civilizations die off before the technology arises that they can make a simulation high enough to where the people inside the simulation they won't know that they're in a simulation.
Okay, so either that is the true way things are in reality, or
one out of the three.
The next one is the fraction of post-human civilizations that are interested in running ancestor civilizations. God damn it, I keep calling it civilizations instead of simulations. Any which way. Of running ancestor Wow.
Smack yourself. There you go.
Simulations.
Simulation.
God damn it.
Son of a bitch.
Simulations.
You can't even pregame at all today.
Apparently not. It's very close to zero. So what he's saying there is, man, this is what happens when we got the door open. So maybe there are enough of them that are interested enough in it that they take it all the way, but the fraction of them is so small that almost none of them happen. But if that is not the case, then the third one must be the fraction of all people with our kind of experience that are living in a simulation is very close to 1. So what he means there is even if there was only one civilization that got to the point where they are creating these simulations, they would create so many of them that there would be so many consciousnesses being simulated that the people who have our kind of experiences, that is, human-type minds, there's way more of them that exist in simulation than actually exist in real life.
Right.
So the odds are that if you have a consciousness, it's more likely
you're part of a simulation. Yeah, you're part of a simulation. Yeah.
Right. So he says, again, let's go back through them. Either civilizations don't ever get there, or some do, but they lose interest. Or third, that so many of them don't do it, but the ones that do, God, I'm so bad today, aren't I?
You suck.
I know. I'm all over the place. I'm scatterbrained. So the ones that do would create enough of these say the word for me.
Simulation.
Simulations. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble today.
Enunciate. Simulation.
Simulations.
Think of The Sims. Simulation.
I'm about ready to restart the whole show.
I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, me either. They created enough of these simulations. Oh my God.
Jesus Christ.
I
How
found
are
a
you
word.
having this much trouble?
I found a word that I can't say.
What the
Simulation.
hell?
Moving on. Just fucking moving on, man.
Oh, man. So let's talk about glitches in our simulations or in the Matrix, so to speak. So
Take over for me, please.
So glitches are like, well, as described in the movie The Matrix, would be like a deja vu, something that you could see. But see, there's an argument for the glitch thing. So it's that the simulation could probably rewind, and if it's such an advanced simulation that you don't that you don't know you're in a simulation,
right,
you won't see that glitch because the simulation will rewind.
Well, it's the same thing you said earlier.
And then fast forward back to that point, and you'll never ever know there was a glitch.
Right. Well, it's the same thing you said earlier. What if the simulation crashes?
Well, that's.
Well, I guess we'll get there.
Yeah, that's later.
My point is this: if it crashes and it's like constantly saved, or it's a save state, if they turn it back on anytime, you would never realize because you started right back up from where it started. The very next possible moment of time starts. It could have been 10 years and whatever the base reality is, and you wouldn't know because it stopped and started.
Yeah, you would
instantly.
never know. Oh, you 10 years in the base reality would still seem like zero, just bing, bing. Actually,
like
it wouldn't seem
travel.
like anything because you wouldn't know.
Right. If your time went the same as the base reality, it'd be like time travel. You just skip 10 years ahead.
Yeah, you wouldn't know because in the simulation you wouldn't know. They would shut you off and turn you back on, and it would be in an exact instant, and you would never know you were shut off and turned back on.
They can run the simulation at 1 year intervals at a time. Run it for 1 year of our time.
Turn it off,
and start it right back up, and we would never know.
Never ever know that stopped and started because of the simulation.
But back to the glitches you were talking about.
What about them?
So Mandela effect is a big thing. People think this is a proof of a simulation.
Yeah, that's a huge because a lot of people call the Mandela effect a glitch in the Matrix, and everyone, I'm sure if you're listening to the podcast or watching us on YouTube, that you're familiar with the Mandela effect. Is there's a lot of discrepancies between certain things in our history, whether it be Bernstein, or the Kazam thing with Shaq in the movie. There's a fucking literal million of these out there.
How it was named the Mandela effect because of Nelson Mandela.
Nelson Mandela, yeah.
A lot of people remember him dying in prison. Well, most of us that are normal remember him getting out of prison and becoming president.
Right.
But it's the same thing. It's a possibility that the storage mechanism behind our reality glitched.
Yeah.
So part of what was saved before, a bit turned from a 0 to a 1, and now it's banana pudding rather than vanilla pudding. You know what I mean? It's simple shit like that, just little swerves.
That's really not that simple, though.
What do you mean?
Because what it would entail for it to turn from banana to vanilla pudding.
Well, what if vanilla pudding is just a reference? So you give it a serialized number when you're saving the data of the universe of your simulation. And what everybody ate,
so vanilla pudding and what it tastes like is a binary 0-1 code.
Right, and they meant to change them all.
The chicken argument.
Right,
What?
They meant to change them all at once. But they fucked up halfway towards the operation. There was a glitch, and it only got through half of them. Now, half of the people have had their memory replaced to the correct Berenstain. The operation failed halfway through. Now, everybody else who was on the latter part of the calculations or whatever didn't get the updated serial numbers or for whatever, whatever.
Binary.
Or whatever, yeah, the updated code or however you want to say memories are stored in this simulation.
Yeah. What about consciousness? So that's the weird thing about simulation, because if we're all just in a computer generated program, what about our consciousness? How are we exactly conscious? That's weird. You know what I mean? Consciousness is weird in the beginning anyway. Like consciousness is totally fucked up because you can't. That's like the one thing. Well, no, it's not the one thing, but that's something that scientists really can't put a finger on at all.
Have you ever heard the Latin phrase? And I'm going to
Oculus Infernum?
No.
Oh, okay, go ahead. That's the eye of hell.
I was going to say, like, I see fire or something.
Eye of hell.
Yeah. Cogito ergo sum. It was by Rene Descartes, and it means I think, therefore I am.
I've heard I think, therefore I am.
I think, therefore I am. Basically, he's saying that I realize that I am a person who is thinking makes me real. And that means I am in a reality. But then he basically was the first person to postulate, prove what your reality is, what you think it is. Prove that you're not in a dream. back then they didn't have the idea of a computer simulation, but
so it was more like they related it to dreams versus a simulation,
right? Because back then, whenever you would go to sleep, it was just as real as the waking reality, and to them, it's like, well, how do we know this is the final level of reality?
I assume that's where the whole pinch me and wake me up thing came from. Like I don't know if I'm dreaming or not, so pinch me.
It more or less is the same thing, yeah.
Yeah, gosh. What about like so to run a simulation, to have the computer power, necessary to harbor an entire civilization inside of a computer program, you know what I mean? Or enough code to where people thought they were, I don't even know, because do you do it like the Matrix movie where they're actually alive and they're in like a back to tank where you're harvesting their energy?
Back to tank, sure.
Hey man, fuck Star Wars, what are you gonna do? So they're in like a back to tank where you're harvesting their energy to run your simulations. I mean, either way, you have the energy required to run something like this is
let's look at it like this.
Crazy.
So you know how a photo works? It's resolution, right? Like how many pixels across, how many pixels down. Like a standard background is 1024 by 768 or something like that. In a 3D-dimensional model, you've got 1024 by 768, and then you've got a depth that you've got to add to it. So now you've got you've got to start a finite resolution. So as we were talking about before, if you get down, did we talk about this on the podcast or before in the Planck length and Planck time?
That was, I don't know if that was before. Yeah, that was before the podcast we started. That was before the YouTube video started.
Let's swerve a little bit then. Pixelated universe goes across the fact that our universe can be taken down into finite small levels of meaning. So Planck length, we've talked about it, I believe, in the time travel episode, and I know we talked about Planck time, Planck length is the smallest measurable amount of meaningful distance. So
meaningful distance.
Yeah, it's equal to 10 to the negative 42 inches, I believe, which is infinitesimally fucking small. Anything smaller than that is, in science they say has no meaning. So Planck time,
you can, but there's still smaller measurements than that. It's just science is calling it no meaning. Anything smaller than that,
basically.
Okay.
So that's ultra HD. That's reality level.
Right. Reality.
So if you take that all the way down to your recording where a person is, where the atoms in that person are, or the molecules are, where the atoms that make up those molecules, where the subatomic particles, your neutrons, your electrons, your protons, the quarks, the gluons, and all the other little subatomic particles, that takes a lot of processing power. One, not only to predict how it's going to behave, but then to store it. So think about if you're storing an atom. Let's just go with that level. You're storing on an atomic level. You're storing the location of the protons, the neutrons, and the electrons, what their speed is, what their direction is, all kinds of little bitty attributes of this. So to do that, you have to have at least that many particles of that same type. So say you're doing just the electron. You got to mark it down with probably electrons in your storage medium. So for this one electron to say where it's at, you've had to use hundreds of them to describe that electron. And the one next to it takes hundreds more electrons to describe the position and everything in a way that can be reread out of a computer. You follow what I'm saying?
I do.
So for a computer to be powerful enough to simulate an entire universe, it would have to have enough RAM that is basically many, many times the size of our universe worth of storage.
Yeah. Quadrillion lines of code.
So
even more so than that, even, really.
At that point, wouldn't it be more efficient to just create copies of that universe and store that? So to just create the simulation in real matter rather than simulate it and mark it down with matter itself to describe matter? What I'm saying is you're using more complex matter to describe less complex matter. You've had to create molecules to describe the electron. Okay, so to mark down what that electron's doing, you've had to use molecules worth of matter to describe a smaller piece of matter.
Okay.
You get where I'm going at all?
No.
I hope the people listening to the podcast get where I'm going. It's just way more complex to simulate it than it would be to just create it. Why not just create the electron and watch what happens rather than simulate that electron with all the other matter that it took to simulate it? Now do you get what I'm saying?
I do.
It takes way more resources than to just create the matter.
Than to just make...
If you've got the ability to simulate that matter, just create the matter. If your computer is that good to where you can predict where a universe's worth of atoms are, Why not just create it and see what happens? And maybe that's what happened to us. Maybe we are the...
Oh, what, just like 3D print the universe out on your desk, huh?
And see what happens.
Right.
You create the rules. Well, if you're the simulate or the people creating the simulation, you can create how fast time goes, how the people in it would perceive such time, if there's different pockets of time. All the rules of physics will be created for your simulation, your sim. I'm gonna start saying sim.
Sim, just say sim.
Yeah.
So earlier this year, we all know Elon Musk came out and he stated that
he came out like there's a press conference.
No, he was. It was a. I'm trying to remember they were talking for a magazine, Vanity Fair. It was a Vanity Fair interview, and the guy was asking him, about simulations and whatnot, and he was stating that there is a 1 in billions chance that we actually live in a base reality. Right. Now Elon Musk, some people might like him, some people might not, but he's the founder of SpaceX, PayPal, Tesla Motors. A lot of people just seen the new roof panels that are solar, that are supposed to be cheaper.
Yeah, the Tesla roof.
Tesla roof. Oh, okay, so it is Tesla then.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, so the guy's not an idiot. He's actually a pretty smart entrepreneur.
I think anybody in the world has heard of Elon Musk.
Well, he said that there's a 1 in billions chance that we actually live in a base reality. So what you can extrapolate from that, he's saying there's a 99.9% chance that we live in a simulation. I mean, am I wrong there?
That's what he's saying.
That's what he's saying.
Well, why are we taking? He's not a physicist.
No, he's not. No, he's not at all. But I trust this guy for some reason. He can land rockets on yachts.
He made electric cars. He knows what he's talking about.
Right. Okay. PayPal. Duh.
So you got some interesting notes here.
Yeah.
Power shortages in the original universe caused by powering a simulation. So what you're saying is, if you're creating a simulation or there I go again, a sim so powerful that it itself can create sims, why wouldn't that suck too much power out of the created universe from its original universe?
Right, that's what I'm saying. So the power shortages in the original universe are directly responsible.
That's assuming that you have to feed power into this universe to make it work.
Well, computers require electricity to run.
Fair enough. So you're saying maybe our universe is required, there's a power source somewhere powering our universe instead of just a finite amount of matter thrown in and letting go?
Come on, man. The Big Bang would almost be the power source.
Somebody just did 2 wires together, created a spark, and that's what we are?
No, I wouldn't say that.
That's too simplified.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that. No, I mean, you could just sperm and egg, put those together. That's what we are. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't. Where the fuck you get a spark from?
I'm just saying, you're using energy to create something.
Some guy blowing sparks out his balls.
Man, I thought simulation theory would be much easier to talk about.
No, it's hard. I try to tell you this. It's very hard. But would a civilization
it's happened to you too,
die out before reaching the required
that was one
tech?
Of the 3 rules. Or would it die out or give up or lose interest? Because that's a hard fucking thing. Like I was saying before, if you want to have the resolution of this simulation, did I do it right?
Yeah, definitely. But if you want the people inside the simulation to not realize that they're inside of a simulation and have consciousness, it really needs to be pretty on point. You know what I mean?
Have you seen? I forget who did the study of. It was a supercomputer with something like 7,800 cores and 24 terabytes of memory. It had something like 18 billion particles in it that modeled the expansion of the universe.
That's probably CERN, right? LHC?
No, it wasn't that powerful. I forget where I'm going.
Yeah.
I'm shitting all over.
What's wrong with you today?
I don't know. My brain ain't working today, dude.
All right. Well,
I'm sorry.
Here's my question.
Can't keep a thought.
Would a simulation theory hold up in court? And I'm not saying as like a murder trial. No. But would the argument be enough to raise reasonable doubt that we do live in a simulation? You could not prove beyond a reasonable doubt that we don't live in a simulation, is what I'm saying. So the simulation theory would hold up in court because you can't prove beyond a reasonable doubt that we don't live in a simulation. You can't prove that this is a base reality.
No, that's true.
So simulation theory would hold up in court. You could get off on murder. If that were the case, it would hold up in court. It's quantifiable. Yeah, the murder, forget all that. But it's quantifiable in court because you can't prove beyond a reasonable doubt that we're not in a simulation. You can't prove we are in a base reality.
Right.
So I figure the argument of simulation is just as good as any other argument because you cannot disprove it or prove it right.
Well, say this. Here's how you know that you can't prove it. Say you were able to get out of your reality. So get to the edge of the universe or the edge of your reality and climb out of it.
Okay.
How would you know that experience was not part of the simulation? To let you think that you've gotten out of your reality.
So let me follow you here. So you're saying let's use the Matrix movie again.
Sure.
You're saying so you were able to
Pull the plug.
unplug from the Matrix, from the simulation.
However you can separate yourself. Pull
However
the
you
plug,
can separate
get
yourself,
to the edge and step
climb
off.
the ice wall at the flat Earth, whatever. Right. Oh fuck, I didn't go there, did I?
You did.
Anyways, go ahead.
What was I saying? I know, dude. My brain's not working. I'm losing shit every 10 seconds today. I might
April
be having
hit
a
you in the
stroke.
head this weekend?
I might be
what
having a stroke.
What the fuck's going on here?
I don't know.
Okay, so here, this is from Max Tegmark at MIT.
No, hold on. I want to go back to what I was saying. What were we talking about? Because I know it was important.
It was, would the simulation theory hold up in court per se? Would the argument be enough to raise reasonable doubt?
You know, what did I say after that? I'm so sorry.
Anyways, Max Tegmark from MIT said, when you break down nature at its very fundamentals, it's really just a bunch of quarks and electrons moving around. And when you can mathematically prove their movements and existence, you know, so what he's saying is if you were in a video game, you were a video game character, and you started wondering about your nature of the reality that you're in. Say you're Mario. You are Mario. And you start wondering why these bricks are breaking and how
same thing
you can measure how fast you run, how high you jump. So, you know, it's all tangible here. You know, it's the same thing basically as a readable code because you can quantify the existence of the quarks and the electrons and stuff in the same way as Mario has code that makes him do the things that he does. So what's the difference? What's the difference in us being able to break down nature as far as all the way down to the subatomic level as what's the difference in Mario being able to realize that
if Mario thought he was real, if Mario had consciousness?
Right, if Mario could figure out like the lines of code that are programming him to do what he's doing.
It goes right back to what Descartes said, I think, therefore I am. If Mario can think and realize he is thinking, then
he's real.
Then he's real. And do you have the...
yeah, but are you real even though you're living inside a simulation, even such as something simple as a video game?
Well, if you go back to the pixelated universe, what is a video game other than a collection of where a point is in a given space and a collection of these points in said given space? So if you go back to all we are is a collection of atoms in a finite level of universe. So it looks like whenever you're moving a marker,
I too am a quark, Bob.
Exactly right. Well, whenever you move something through the air, it looks smooth, right? Or when you see something move across the TV, it looks smooth. But whenever you get down to it and use a magnifying glass, that thing's not moving across the TV smooth. The next set of pixels are coming on. That's the same thing with us. Our eyes we're creating the illusion that it's smooth. We're just moving to the next finite little piece of space. Blip, 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 blip through there.
Well, okay, so let's use fluid dynamics, for example. So before we knew about all these subatomic particles, we had fluid dynamics, right? Am I right or wrong? Fluid dynamics came out before we knew about quarks and everything. So, but we knew the fundamentals of you can take this cup with water in it, and you know
our favorite prop on the show. That's
our sodies. But you know how the liquid's going to be moving in this cup. You know fluid dynamics. So you don't. I'm trying to think of how to word this. But when you dig deeper and you figure out the subatomic particles of what's going on, you realize that water is really not moving like that it's mostly empty space, and that the quarks and electrons are moving, are what's causing this to look fluid like that. But see, we didn't know about that before fluid dynamics. So fluid dynamics explained it perfectly fine. Now that we've figured this out, we can explain it to a better resolution
deeper, right?
Without fluid dynamics, but fluid dynamics does just fine for what we're...
So what you're saying is we basically need to find out why matter is matter, like the force that causes matter to push against itself. Because without that force, there is no real reality.
Well, that would be dark matter, right?
No, dark matter is just an explanation or a name for something we don't understand.
Fair enough.
We know that there's gravity being exerted, but we don't know what's exerting it. It's a dark matter that we can't describe. Same thing with dark energy. It's all basically the same thing.
It's crazy. Here, I got another one here. This was... So, cause of death in a simulation. Yeah, you're fucking crazy today. I don't know what's wrong with you. Somebody hit you over the fucking head.
I am so apologetic.
All right, so cause of death in a simulation. This was really good. Now, this obviously isn't an original thought because I rarely have few of those. I mean, it wouldn't be true. So, cause of death in a simulation. So, say the simulator, and for this exercise, we'll say God, simulator, you know, creator, whatever.
Rick Sanchez.
The guy pushing the buttons.
Right, Rick Sanchez.
So say you just get boring. You're old, you get boring, and they shut you down. This guy's boring. Now, that
look at it
could
like
be
the Truman Show.
Cause of death in a simulation is you get boring. The simulators are tired of dealing with you and you're bored. But so like, you know, because you get old, you moved, you know, you slow down, You're not doing much exciting shit anymore. You're sitting in your chair in your rocker on the front
You're
porch.
season 98.
Okay, but if you notice, the people that do stay active up into their 90s, kicking ass into their 90s, you know, they got no sign of slowing down or dying.
What happens when they get hit by a truck?
Because the simulator's saying, well, so there's odds and ends in this theory. It's not a foolproof theory, but but you know what I'm saying. So like the people that are still in their 90s kicking ass and shit, they're not boring enough for this simulator to shut them down.
That makes the assumption that who's ever running the simulation, did I do it right again?
Yes.
Simulation. Who's ever running this sim can watch every single person at the same time and cares what they're doing.
And that would go right along with the God theory, because that's what people
omnipotence
who believe in a higher power think. You know, like he can watch everybody at all at one time. He's got all knowledge, all powerful. You know, I mean,
what a dickhead! You bore me. Click, you're gone.
Right. Well, no one's. We're talking Old Testament God here. Okay, this isn't New Testament.
Sure.
He's Old Testament God. Get the fuck out of here.
Abraham.
Yeah, and so that brings me to my next theory, or not my next point. So simulation theory is kind of like God, because when at its very basic, when you can relate a simulator, a guy that's running this simulation, to a God, he's as much a God to the people inside the simulation, or the minds,
if he created the universe,
or the consciousness. What's the difference? Exactly my point. What is the difference between a guy that goes to church and worships God, or a person inside a simulation finding out that they have a simulator?
It sits all in the loose determination of what the word God means, honestly.
Right. Well, creator, simulator, God. But at the same time, I seen something on Facebook. That brings me back to this. I seen something on Facebook this week. It was fucking excellent. It was two people talking, and the one guy was like, "What's it like being an atheist?" And the other guy's like, "Well, do you believe in Thor or Ganesh or anything like that?" He's like, "No." He's like, "Well, it's kind of like that."
Yeah, exactly.
I just thought that was great. But you know, so it's kind of like a God. But you can't prove it. You can't prove that there's a simulator. And if you could,
would you want to know if you were in a simulation? Let me say Morpheus comes to you and gives you the red pill, blue pill. Red pill, blue pill. What do you take? The red pill?
The red pill goes down the rabbit hole. Blue pill goes back to home, right?
Right.
I'm going red. And the only reason is because you're blue pill all day. You don't even got to fucking answer your blue pill. I already know that. You're blue pill. I'm red pill. And the reason being is because I want to know.
What do you want to know for? What does it matter?
I got a deep down thing that I don't like being lied to.
What if?
So I really want to know the truth. And I really feel like that search for truth is kind of what drives people. And even so much more in the conspiracy world, too, that search for truth.
I agree. You don't like to know that anybody's getting one over on you.
There you go. I don't want to be got over on, and I feel like I can if me being more.
To me, it's like, you know, when a kid comes and runs right by you and gets real far past you. I'm racing you to this thing over there.
Oh, yeah,
I beat
fucker.
you.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're getting one on me. I didn't even know you were fucking trying. So good job there, buddy.
Yeah, right.
So what if, like in the Matrix, you actually get pulled out of that reality? But what if you're just told and you're given the knowledge that now, yeah, you are in a simulation? What are you gonna do with that?
Okay, but you're given that knowledge, but you need proof.
What if okay, here's a picture of the guy.
Because I can give you the knowledge right now. You're in a simulation. How did that change your life?
It didn't. That's my point about it. That's why I don't care.
But here's the thing.
That's why I wouldn't bother taking the pill.
Here's the thing. Any evidence for a non-simulation isn't evidence at all. Because if you find evidence that we're not in a simulation, the argument can go to say that evidence was put there for you. Exactly. The simulation provided that evidence, or the simulator put that evidence in the simulation to appease you, or to shut you up, or to keep you off the track,
just
trail,
a safety.
Whatever. Yeah, exactly. So any evidence for non-simulation is, in fact, evidence for simulation.
And you can never trust it, even if you're
no, yeah, exactly.
Say your benevolent creator, the one who created your universe, decides to show himself. Can you even believe him? That it's not part of the sim, and it's the actual God? At that point, I mean...
oh, fuck.
There's no belief in anything at that point. What do you believe is real whenever you're told that what you've believed your entire life, your whole reality, isn't in fact real? You're just a collection of algorithms.
People go through that every day, though. People go through that every day that have a crisis of faith. People, they go through that and they're 40 years old and they've believed in God and went to church their entire life. And then something causes a crisis in their life, and they totally reject their previous belief systems, and now they're at the same point as which you're just talking about. No, I'm not talking about being hooked on crack. I'm just saying that they're at the same point in their life as what you're talking about. Yep. When you find out that what you thought was true your entire life turns out not to be.
It'd be the same reason, or if somebody was sitting around, fucking around in a government building, and they found the proof that 9/11 was an inside job. Nobody else knew, but this whole time they've been like...
I just hope that person whistle blows and doesn't get suicided.
You get my point. It's just like everything you thought was real or the way things are is just opposite.
Right.
The government is out to get you.
And as much as I hate the woke phrase, but to find out something like that.
That's the definition of being woke, is know that you know,
to find something out like that
you're
changes your
reality.
very definition of reality. Like you have so much trust in something or believe it to a very, very far extent. Like you put all your faith and trust in this one thing. Like the government would never do this to us, and then you find some information that would tell you like 9/11 was fucking completely orchestrated by our government, and you have actual hard tangible proof of that. How does that change you? And that's what they say. You kind of woke up. You're awake now. Like, right. Whoa. And that can be related closely to a simulation. Exactly, because you've woke up. Whoa. This is all bullshit. This is all bullshit. Everything's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you get what I mean by that?
Totally. I totally do.
Oh, boy, I wish you were more on today.
I know. Did you know Crazy Horse used to say that he had the power to dream himself into the real world and leave the illusion behind?
We're in the spirit world.
He's
riding backwards on the horse.
Hey, guys, mind us. We're in the spirit world.
They can't see us. We're in the spirit world, you idiot.
Do you guys see the size of that chicken?
If you've never seen the movie Young Gun, they do peyote up in the mountains and get all existential.
Look, Scott says in the chat, does it bother anyone else that Eric sounded like he knew what he's talking about? It bothers me.
Okay? You had me paying attention, that's for sure.
The CIA dropped into hacking Big E's programming. Oh, Frank, he figured it out. The CIA dropped their hack in your programming.
Could be.
Everett's glitched right now.
So a lot of you watch Rick and Morty out there. There was an episode of Rick and Morty we watched right before
we just watched it.
It's called The Ricks Must Be Crazy. Long story short, spoiler alert, Rick's car, his spaceship type car, is run by a battery that is a simulation that he created. Basically, he went in there, he let this universe evolve to the point where there was people in it. Then he went down in there as a god type being and showed them how to generate electricity. But the rub there was, of all the electricity they generated, part of it was immediately siphoned off. Well, no, that was the secondary one.
Oh.
So part of the electricity that was used that they generated was siphoned off to run Rick's car. But eventually that civilization inside a simulation got advanced enough to where they created another civilization inside a simulation to create electricity to power their civilization inside the simulation.
It's called Simception.
Simception, exactly right.
A simulation, a civilization inside a simulation, inside a civilization, inside a simulation, all from a civilization that isn't inside of a simulation that we know of.
Yeah, long story short, hilarity ensues as
Great show.
As he tries to get his car started because the universe decided we don't need to create that much electricity. We'll just have another sub-universe create what we need for them. It was pretty good, though.
And so here's another question. So, like, if we are in a simulation, what if the program running this is what you kind of touched on earlier that I was trying to say for this. What if the program that's running the simulation crashes? What would happen to the people inside the simulation? Now, and like I said, do you go by the theory that they're just computer programs, the people, or do you go by the theory that they're actually people that are in some sort of a back to tank generating electricity in their minds or conscious inside of a civilization?
So do they need bodies at that point?
Exactly, that's what I'm asking you. So if the computer program crashes and they are actual people and there's a base reality and that simulation crashes, then you've got however many people waking up at the same time going, what in the fuck is this? Looking around, not knowing what's going on, you know what I mean? But if they're all computer programs and it crashes, it's a non-factor because they'll never know. You know what I mean? They're a line of code, which they think they're conscious, because remember you said that if it's advanced.
We think about code as actual written out lines in a computer, but if you take a computer far enough, why are we not physical code? Look at our DNA. It's a physical code that builds us up as a human. You know, twins have the exact same DNA, and it builds out, more or less, environmental factors notwithstanding, an exact duplicate of it. I'm suggesting that we are living in physical code.
Okay.
Not any kind of binary written in the deep downs of quarks and gluons, but more or less our reality is a physical code that has a certain set of rules, like any code base like HTML or C++.
I bet you don't know that I know what that means.
What, HTML? It's been around for 30 years. I'm sure you probably know what it means by now.
I know, but you underestimate me often.
Nah, not this time.
Okay.
I'm not even going to ask you what it means.
All right, go ahead. I'm good.
You ruined my flow, and I haven't been flowing well today, so thanks for that.
Well, so you're right. I did fuck y'all up there. Now, some of the stuff you put in the document. Why don't you go well into what you were talking about here about how can you simulate matter down to a subatomic level? So when we decided this and I got into my research, I kind of told Everett today, I'm like, look, you're going to have to be the brain behind this because I don't understand most of the science shit. Like, and he's wrote down on here, like, how can you simulate matter down to a subatomic level? Like, I don't fucking know.
This is just a thought I had.
To record the state of the particle,
I talked about it.
Use other particles to do so, and by definition, more particles than the original particle. Give me, how you think I'm gonna understand that?
Well, here, I'll read it out and let people listening to it. So I wrote down as I was studying this, how can you simulate matter down to a subatomic level? To record the state of a particle, you must use other particles to do so. So by definition, more particles than the original particle are used to store that because you must, like I said before, know all the attributes of that particle: spin, speed, size, etc.
Location of particle in the grander scheme of things.
The smallest available particle as like either the particle is there or the particle is not there as your bits of binary. You still got to use way more than to describe that smallest bit of particle. So if you're describing, we'll say, an atom, and you use atom is either there or not to do bit versus byte and do a whole program out of it. It takes way more atoms to describe that one atom.
And that's what that gal, that theoretical physicist on that panel that I told you I watched that 2 hour one. That's what she's saying. She's saying you can describe a baseball by all of these lines of code where every little subatomic particle is in this baseball and where its rotation, its distance, its speed, its mass, all that. You can describe that through a computer code, but it's really not necessary because all you got to do is say it's a baseball.
Pretty much.
You know what I mean? And that goes like right along.
But what if you do it like how they do a JPEG? So a JPEG,
which is a computer picture file,
it's
right?
a picture format.
Okay.
So a raw image is every single pixel is described in the file. But a JPEG uses a compression algorithm to where it says, you see this line of pixels right here? They're all the same fucking color. So instead of going blue, 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 we're going to go 13 blues.
Right.
We just saved all that space.
Okay.
So what if whenever you created your simulation, instead of saying all these desks are here, all these atoms, you don't use that many, you say 38 atoms in a row or just like this. So then you can start saving space that way.
But you could break it down even more by saying there's a desk right there.
True, but then you got to have definitions of desks.
Well, right, but what I'm saying at its simplest, like what I said with the baseball, you know what I mean? Instead of describing it through your lines of code where you've got, these are all white, and you got a little red one right here, you got a little red one right here for the stitch.
You're going back to the original argument. It's all about perception. It's all about the stimuli that your consciousness receives from outside sources.
Right, and that's something I don't feel like we touched on enough with the simulation is consciousness, because consciousness plays a huge part in that, because you're either conscious that you're in a simulation.
How can I trust that you're conscious? How about that? Let me ask you that.
I'm woke as fuck.
Fair enough. How can you trust that I'm conscious? I know that I am. How do I know you're not just simulated to stimulate me as another piece of stimuli that enters my consciousness?
Well, Mom did that. She simulated the fuck out of me earlier on, and when you was like 1.5. That way,
Are you telling me you got molested?
No, not at all. I'm saying I am a simulation. I'm a simulation to stimulate you. Yeah,
like
maybe I'm what you needed to advance in this world, and I was put here just strictly to help you along on your path.
It's like the Truman Show.
You wouldn't know I was.
I am the subject. Am I the subject of this simulation? Is it all?
Is this simulation a single person
about
simulation,
me, or is it about you? And I'm just a
I don't know. Gosh, there's so much to this one. This is a very thought-provoking subject, and I don't try to think a lot. You know what I mean? I don't like thinking that much. I smell something burning and shit when I do that. So
that's primarily why you don't read.
Right. I don't really like to read. Yeah, if you got an audiobook, I'm down. I want to get the Darth Plagueis. It's like a 14-hour audiobook. Do we still have the idea for the audiobook free 30-day free trial, free audiobook download? Can I do that on my phone and get that?
Surreal Talk.
But do I got to cancel it after the 30 days?
I guess so. I don't know. I never tried it.
But can I download it and still keep it after I cancel it?
Probably not. Probably a licensing thing. It's probably a license.
That's horse shit.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, we already talked about that. Yeah, man, we've really banged through everything we had almost. No, and we did pop culture, obvious Matrix references, Truman Show, Inception, Surrogates. Now, have you seen Surrogates?
Yeah, with Bruce Willis.
Yeah, so that's almost
That's
like
not really the same.
that
thing,
is
though.
almost like a simulation because you're strapping yourself into a computer and another body that you're controlling with your consciousness is
Yeah, but
out
that
running
body
out
would-
in the world.
it would
Oh
have
no,
to know-
because it'd be in the same world that you're in though. So that's
Right.
not a simulation. You're right. You're right.
It's not in another level.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I withdraw that.
It's for the same reason you don't put on a mask in a VR game and go to it like. You ever heard of the game Second Life? It's just like The Sims, and you can go have a whole second life there. But it's not real. It's not. You can't completely move your consciousness down to that level. You are aware that that is another level down of fakeness. The people in that game are not complex enough to know that they are in a simulation, that their consciousness is just a collection of algorithms.
Right.
So, I mean, it's really different.
So, like, at the easiest way to explain it, like breaking down the simulation theory to, like, Eli 5. Like, if you were going to Eli 5, which explained to, like, someone like they're 5 years old, if you're going to Eli 5 a simulation theory, how would you do that? How would you explain simulations to someone that doesn't have no prior knowledge, not a science person, no prior knowledge to simulation at all? How would you explain a simulation?
Watch the weather. The weather is just at a simple level, it's a series of algorithms taking an original state and extrapolating where it's going to go to. A simulation. It's simulating knowing that right now the weather is in this certain state, and what's going to happen. So imagine yourself as a storm. They want to know what's going to happen with the storm. They simulate it out. You are just the experiment to find out what happened in a person in a place such as what you are turns into. And that's a horrible way to explain it.
Yeah, that's terrible.
How would you explain a simulation?
I probably try to relate it to a video game, and that's in its easiest form. That's how I would explain a simulation to someone. If I was going to explain,
But you can't tell them they're the main character.
no. If my daughter come and ask me like, what about simulation theory, Dad? I don't know. Can you explain this to me? And I would try to tell her like, okay, so simulation meaning, you know what I do? I download Sims. I'd go rent Sims, and I would say, this is a simulation that you control, and these people inside all have their own little individual. You can set them on their ways to go do their day. They got to, go to
Imagine
the
you're one of those
bathroom.
people and you didn't know that you were being controlled.
Exactly. That's what I would say. You don't know that you're inside this video game. You are Mr. Sim or Mrs. Sim, and you don't realize that there's someone outside that's either controlling or even maybe not even so much controlling, but have created what you experience as reality. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I said, it might not even be so much controlling, because at this point, is it an emergent? Are we? And when I say that, what I mean is,
Like, are we waking? Is that what you mean?
no. Is our reality just an emergent, or do we emerge from someone setting this simulation up by creating the universe and leaving it alone? Is our reality just emerge from this set of code? You know what I mean?
Right, like
you
the
type all this
weather,
code
like the weather simulation.
and let it go, and then you see this.
Well, there's an experiment on the internet.
So
I
that's
saw a
what I'm saying.
video.
Are we emergent, or is it more than that? Are we, being moved around every little?
When you get some time later on, look on the internet on YouTube. There's a video that outlines an experiment these people did. They created a 2D world, and they simulated the position of particles at the start of it. Then they created some rules. So imagine a particle in the middle of a 9x9 grid. It has 4 particles touching it, 4 particles not touching it, direct touch, up and down, left and right.
Okay.
So they made rules like, if a particle has 2 sides of it touching, destroy the particle. If the particle has 3 sides touching, add an extra particle but delete the one in the middle. You know what I mean? Create that. So they created all kinds of rules like that and decided to see how far it would go. Now,
Did they do this on paper? Or did they do this in a
they
computer
did it in
program?
a computer simulation.
Okay.
So depending on how the universe started, it might, using that same set of rules, peter out in a couple thousand iterations of change. Or it might seemingly run forever to the point where now you've got big-ass globs that are not basically following the same rules. They've got macro-level rules now that have evolved, because some of these pieces have evolved into like groupings, rather. So it's a whole thing.
Yeah, that's. Yeah. I sometimes I feel like I'm semi-smart, and then you say shit like that, and I'm just like,
Well, you were saying, like, are we the result of the starting the universe in a certain...
right? Is it something that was just let go and
It's the butterfly effect, really.
Exactly, fucking exactly. It's the butterfly effect. That's what I'm talking about. Did it just emerge, or are we a result of someone actually still pounding out commands, inputting commands into the simulation,
Well, for a
that makes us
simulation,
do that?
Maybe, but if we think about this, what if the asteroid didn't hit the dinosaurs weren't taken out? we wouldn't likely be here at all.
Where are you going with that?
I don't know. I had a good train of thought, but again, I'm shit today.
I mean, like, I'm following you. I get it, but where are you going with it? Like, I understand. Like, if the asteroid didn't hit, I get what you're getting.
I don't know where I'm going with it. It's something to do with the simulation.
See, people, there are two types of people in this world. They're the type that can extrapolate from incomplete evidence.
You're right. Yeah, it's twice today you've tried that joke, and it's fallen flat both times.
How do you know they're not laughing right now?
They might be. They might be.
Okay.
Can we kill today's episode? I feel like I've ruined it. I'm a piece of shit.
No,
I don't want
you
my
didn't
brain,
ruin it. I just really
my
feel
brain
like
just isn't really like working today. I don't know why. I can't keep a thought together. And it's not drugs. I'm not on super amounts of drugs. Regular amount. Anything on the chat?
yeah, the microphone poke. Why am I called Hurricane Eric?
I don't know.
Huh. And wait a minute. Is Scott saying that there's peanut allergies is just a recent?
There's side conversations going on right now. Like,
all right. Well, I'm good with that though. Like, so I don't really feel like we did explain simulation theory really good. We talked the fuck about it, but we talked a lot about it. But that's what I'm trying to get. Like, if someone's trying to listen, if
just
someone's
think about
listening
the
to our
Matrix.
podcast, and that's right. So thank you to the movie The Matrix and the Wachowski brothers for actually being able
the
to.
Wachowski sisters now. They both have had sex change since then.
Get the fuck out! Don't tell you that.
Yeah, they're like Lana and something else.
No, it isn't. Is that true?
Yeah.
I mean, not that it's a bad thing, but how did that get by me?
Yeah, it's Lana and Lily Wachowski. Yeah.
Both of them?
Both of them. Yeah.
Why?
They used to be Larry and Andy.
Was it? They just
I don't know,
decided
they just
like
wanted to have
together,
sex change.
like both of us, like.
Who knows? It's not our place to say why they wanted to have sex changes.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
They wanted to be women. Fine.
Scott says, "Did they switch brains before the show today?"
Seems like it, huh? I feel dumber than shit today.
That was good. And like I said, I kind of felt semi-smart. Maybe what it was we talked about it before the show, and I'm like, man, I've been feeling really stupid lately, Everett. Can you kind of feel stupid? Can you seem stupid on the show today so that it can make me feel smart? Kind of give me some pointers. And he's like, what he's doing is he's texting me what to say right here on my phone. So I'm like, oh, yeah, say this. That's not at all true.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do got a glimmer of hope in the
So next week we're hoping to do some debates with people, and if I come like I come today,
but more
I won't
discussion.
be able to win a flat. I won't be able to win a flat Earth discussion in my current mindset.
No, and it's not about winning. We
I'll
talked
be like,
about
oh,
this.
you're right. It is flat. Good point.
I'll fucking quit right now. I promise you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess that's it for today. Everett was a little off his game. He's a scrub bum. So
You're right. Totally am, and I will burn in hell for this.
yes, you will. So I guess for Eric and
Hold on. We got a couple of things. Patreon.
oh yeah, shit.
If you're giving to us on Patreon after today's show, you should probably go turn that off. That's patreon.com/Surreal Talk. Cancel that pretty easy.
Oh, wait a minute. After today's show, I really kind of feel like Team Eric should really have a really good upsurge in the poll.
Yeah, you're already kicking the shit out of me. You deserve another little surge after today.
I think so. But yes, we do have our Patreon thing going. It's if you're not familiar with Patreon, it's a crowdfunding website.
You sound like you got a frog in your throat.
I don't though. It's a crowdfunding website. Just kind of helps us
Sound better now. So
keep going. I don't know.
Sorta.
We get $28 a month.
33, I think.
Oh,
Money is not what keeps us doing this.
fair enough. Exactly.
So-
But it's something. Yeah. Oh yeah. You mentioned earlier the $1.50 we've made off YouTube. So I mean,
In the past month.
yeah, we're doing good.
Since we started, I think we made like $28 on YouTube.
You can't even withdraw unless you have 100.
Right.
So like maybe 3 years from now we'll be able to get the minimum withdrawal rate on YouTube.
Who gives a fuck about the money? I don't ever want to talk about it again.
I don't either.
I want to
It's-
shut down the Patreon and get rid of it all because what does it fucking matter?
It doesn't. You're right, because regardless of whether
Scott did not get his $2 worth today. You're right, Scott. You got about $1.60.
does that make Eric the male Lindsay Lohan? Oh, hold the fucking phone here. No.
I don't get why that would make you anything.
I don't either.
I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna go kill the recording. Catch you guys next week. We're hoping to do some debates with people from the group about shit that they disagree with us on.
And if that doesn't happen, if we don't get enough people to do the discussion, not debate, I don't like that word debate.
I do.
We use the word debate loosely because that implies that there's going to be a winner and a loser, and I'm more like discussing things than trying to win or lose.
You fucking pussy. Anyway, we'll catch you guys next week.
Yeah, and if that doesn't work out, though, we'll probably have a good backup.
This has been Surreal Talk.
Oh God.
Lineup Media.
Okay, I guess Everett's killing the show. So it's been Surreal Talk, lineupmedia.fm production for Everett and Eric. Thanks a lot. He sucks. I don't. Team Eric. For life.
Still on stream, though.
We still on live on YouTube? God, did he suck or what today? Gosh. I'm gonna have to go through and read all the live chat because I was so into the show that I didn't really even fuck with the chat today very much at all. April has plans, or she kept Big E up late, and that's what's wrong with him today. Maybe it's the. Does that make Eric the male Lindsay Lohan? I really don't get that, Frank. Can I ask you to explain that, please? If it's about flat Earth, there's going to be a loser. No shit. That's the right.
I feel like it would be me at this point.
Hey, I don't feel too bad about today's show. I mean, somebody's got to be the idiot. It's just funny that it switched roles this week.
It's very bad.
And I'm not calling you an idiot. You did good. You just couldn't keep your head in the fucking right spot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, I don't know what the deal is. Let's get this off my belly. I'm sorry, everybody. I don't know.
This has
I came in feeling
the real
good.
talk. Oh,
I've been excited. I've been fucking simulation theory all over my brain today, and I couldn't even pronounce simulation.
Simulation.
Simulation?
Civilization.
God damn.
Civilization and simulation.
Yeah, thanks for that, Scott. He's going to be doing that for weeks now.
Yeah.
So, whatever.
I thought it was good. What'd you guys think of the show? Oh, shit. I didn't die. I'm still here.
It was poop.
Yeah.
I wouldn't download it if I were if I were them.
Oh, God, no. Go ahead and download it. Make fun. Please put in a group how you were disappointed in Everett today. I'm just giving you shit, man. You give me so much shit when I don't come with my game on. You know what I mean?
I deserve it. I'm not.
When I don't come with my A game, you didn't do any research. Did you any research? Did you even look what I tried to get? Did you look at the doc?
It's not about research today. It's about a brain that can't keep thoughts together. I feel like I was prepared material-wise. I can't string shit together. Me, I'm no good at damn thinking.
What did you just say? I think he's had a stroke. Are you sure you didn't have a stroke?
That was a joke. Me, I'm no good at me, I'm thinking.
Back like North Neck. You didn't understand that?
It was bad. Oh, God.
Oh, man.
What a horrible shit show.
I thought it was all right.
So, I'm heading down to the video game tournament. I hate to call it that, but that's what people know them as, our esports event down at the college.
That's where you're headed now?
I got to go pick up April, but yeah.
Are you guys going down there? More you going?
Yep. Taking more. You want to go? I got Halo going on. I got all kinds of
Can I play in the tournament?
It's already started.
Then no.
Okay. Next time you playing?
I will play. Yeah. If as long as it's not on a freaking Saturday and I don't have to skip a Surreal Talk, I will play in the FFA. Yes. I totally want to do.
What if we recorded it live at the venue?
Well, hey guys, I'm right here playing. What are we talking about?
You'd have to stop playing for a little while.
No, I can just do it while I'm playing.
Remember what happened last time? Hey, I figured out what happened to our marijuana shows. Why the first one was so just horrible.
We were high.
You were retarded high. But we never got our groove on by going live first and getting into it. Now today, when it's the same thing, we went live, but I don't feel like I ever got my groove today.
No.
But I think that's exactly what it was. We weren't in our groove. We didn't have our people.
I got in the groove today.
I'm talking about during the Atlantic City marijuana #1.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Totally.
So I don't know. That's what it made sense to me. I'm killing this stream. I'll see you guys next week.
All right, everybody, have a good week. Team Eric.